At the Amber Year Boardroom, roll call, please. At the Amber Year Boardroom, roll call, please.
Mr. Hector Garcia.
Here.
Dr. Cecilia May Moreno.
Present.
Mr. John Amaya, present. Mr. Jose Valdez.
Present.
Mr. Jesus Martinez.
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Garza.
Present.
And Mr. Jose R. Perez.
Absent.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Moreno.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The national anthem will be performed this evening by Noel Loera, Tatiana Garcia, and Jose Veloz of J.W. Nixon High School and the Vidal M. Trevino School of Communications and Fine Arts under the direction of Mr. John Spillane.
That was very, very good. Thank you.
Good evening, honorable board members and Dr. Nelson. Under special observances this evening, Mrs. Rosa Maria Cuellar Garcia died on May 23rd, 2013. She worked for LISD for 11 years as a library aide at Milton Elementary School and Memorial Middle School until she retired in 1994. Also, Mr. Galo Florentino Ramirez died on May 27th, 2013. He worked for LISD for 43 years as a teacher at Sanchez Ochoa Elementary School, Linedecker Elementary School, and Kristen Middle School until he retired in 2002.
We'd also moment of silence for Simone Deutsch, which passed away yesterday at 5:30 in the afternoon. They buried him this morning from Joe Brand. So we all for a moment of silent meditation, please. Thank you.
Good evening once again, board members and Dr. Nelson. This evening we'll be recognizing LISD's top accelerated readers, 3 schools that excelled in their daily student attendance throughout this past year, our high school valedictorians, and an outstanding and beloved educator. We'll begin by recognizing LISD's top accelerated reader students, the classes and their schools for participation in the annual district-wide accelerated reader program in LISD. And we'll have Ms. Melly Pais, our head librarian, please join us up front as well. The top elementary accelerated reader in elementary schools is Ms. Alexis Carrillo, 5th grade student from Farias Elementary School with 703.4 points. Also representing Farias is Flor Diaz and the librarian San Juanita Reyes. Our top middle school in the Accelerated Reader, our top middle school student in the Accelerated Reader program is Samantha Serrano, a 7th grader at Memorial Middle School with 904.7 points. With Samantha is Ms. Melissa Valdez and her librarian, Norma Gonzalez.
You redid it or?
And now we have the top elementary class in accelerated reading is Miss Angelica Black's second grade class at Alma Pierce Elementary School, and they earned 4,777 points. With Miss Black is also Miss Lesa and Laura Chapa, their librarian. The top middle school class belongs to Ms. Lupita Gonzalez's 8th grade class at Cigarroa Middle School with 4,900 points. And for the 4th year in a row, the top elementary accelerated reading school is Heights Elementary School. Representing Heights is their principal, Adriana Padilla, and I'd like to say that Heights accumulated over 31,000 points in their accelerated reader program.
How do they do in the
Over 86% of Heights students met their goal. Now we're moving on to our campuses that did really well with their daily student attendance. We begin with the Early College High School, who maintained a 97.4% on their daily student attendance rate this year. Representing the Early College is Principal Mr. Jose Cerda.
All right.
Good job.
Great job.
Good job.
Next up, we have Caguas Elementary School and Assistant Principal Maria Moreno. Caguas has a 98% daily student attendance rate during the entire school year. And we have two schools that tied with a 98.1. So the first one we're going to recognize here is Milton Elementary School with a 98.1 daily student attendance rate. School Vice Principal Jorge Gutierrez is here representing Milton.
Yeah. Long, unicorn longhorns.
And also with a 98.1% is Bruni Elementary School. And here from Bruni is Erica Ramirez, Assistant Principal from Bruni. Oh, and also the counselor, Mr. Anselmo Sanchez.
Great job.
Great job.
Congratulations to all our schools for making sure kids are in school every day. And now we're going to recognize the best of the best, our valedictorians from our 4 high schools. First, we have, I want to introduce Leslie Garcia. She's the valedictorian from the Early College High School, but she couldn't be here tonight because tonight the Dusty Camp, the freshman orientation begins. So she thanks you for her recognition, and Mr. Cerda will accept her honor on her behalf. Leslie graduated with 104 grade point average, 62 hours of college credit, and she's going to be studying biology at Texas A&M International University. Thank you, Mr. Cerda. From Cigarroa High School, the 2013 valedictorian is Liliana Edali Negrete. Liliana had an overall GPA of 101.24. She's going to attend Texas State University in San Marcos and study healthcare business administration. And she got tons of scholarships. Congratulations, Liliana. I would also like to recognize Liliana's parents, Antonio and Marta Negrete. I think I see them here. Congratulations. And with a grade point average of 104.52 is the valedictorian from Martin High School, Ms. Sofia Montserrat Olivares de la Mora. Sofia will be attending the University of Texas at Austin, and she's going to be majoring in biology, and she would like to receive a master's degree in forensic science. She's joined tonight by her mother, Maria Olivares. And also we have Mr. Ricky Perez. He is the valedictorian for Nixon High School. Ricky has a grade point of 105.58. He's the son of Mr. and Mrs. Francisco Perez. He will be attending Washington University's Olin School of Business in St. Louis, Missouri. Also, Ricky Perez is the only student in Laredo to have earned the Microsoft Office Specialist Master Certification. We're very proud of all of our students, but especially our valedictorians. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we are pleased and honored to recognize Ms. Ana Maria Campos, a beloved member of the LISD family who is retiring after 36 years of service to the district. Ms. Campos started working for the district as a teacher at Bruni Elementary School. She was promoted to assistant principal at Santo Niño Elementary, and after serving at Santo Niño, Ms. Campos was named principal at Tarver Elementary, a position she has held until her retirement. We wish Ms. Campos very well, and the doors at LISD are always open to Ms. Campos. Board members and Dr. Nelson, those are tonight's recognitions.
Thank you very much. And congratulations to all, to everybody, especially the three valedictorians. We all listened to your speeches, and they were inspiring, and leadership that you showed, and the professionalism, and your message was a great message. And congratulate you, and again, congratulate your parents for an outstanding job. Thank you. Let's go to public forum. First, Hilario Cavazos. After the, taking a listen to them, Hilario. 2 minutes, Hilario.
For the record, Hilario Cavazos, TSTA rep. Those that wish to step out, I'll wait.
You want to do that?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
30 seconds,
Yeah.
The ones that were giving awards earlier, if you all want to get up and go, you're free to go.
Yeah.
That 30-minute intermission. Thank you.
Way to go. Proud of you.
Hilario. He was surprised. I wanted to make people get fired. The offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator.
They mix it.
And the
And that was the board, or who did that? School did.
He was the head trainer too. You want to go ahead?
Okay. For the record, Hilario Cavazos, TSTA rep, state board member for Laredo and Webb County, longtime LISD employee. I will be starting my 29th year come August. I'm very proud to work for LISD and be a product of United, but to dedicate my entire years of service, professional service to this board, to the school district. Honorable board members, Mr. President, Mr. Garcia, Honorable Superintendent, Dr. Nelson, I come to you tonight again to ask you, I know that I spoke before you all last night, but for the record, to ask you for a good health insurance policy where I hope you can absorb a good chunk of the cost. And I'm here to ask you also for a bonus pay. I'm advocating for everybody, all my folks, everybody, and that includes administrators, from the top administrator down to the bottom. Okay, everybody's equal for a bonus paycheck. I hope we can get something done, and a step increase. I hope we can go 3 for 3. And it's not that we're interested in money, but we are underpaid by the state, and the profession doesn't get any respect. However, I don't care whether a businessman respects me or not. I'm here to serve children. However, it's a matter of economics, and things cost money out there. So that's why I'm asking you to please take it into consideration. You are a great board to work with, an honorable board to work with. And yes, there are some other concerns concerning the scheduling of classes, but I'll get together with Dr. Nelson on that at a later time. Those are some of the issues, and I thank you all for hearing me out, and I thank you for the transparency in the way the insurance process has been worked out. Mr. McGraw's done a great job, probably one of the best insurance consultants we've had in my 29 years at LISD. Thank you, and God bless you, and thank you for this time.
Good job, Hilario. Good job. Edith Vasquez.
Good evening. Not as tall. I'm Edith Vasquez for the record. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Mr. President, Mr. Garcia, Dr. Nelson. I am an LISD parent, a product, and an employee. With that in mind, I would like to start by thanking all of you all for making the best decisions for our students and our district employees. I am here today because I am concerned about the health insurance. I trust that you will make the best choice for all of us employees, but what concerns me the most is the increase in costs that might take place today. I am a mother of 2 wonderful boys who happen to be diagnosed with autism. Both of my boys have beaten the odds and have been successful in their academics due to hard work, dedication, and extensive therapies. Without these therapies, I don't know if we would have the same outcome. Speech and occupational therapy has been provided through the schools, but unfortunately, not enough to see the improvement and success that we have seen by taking them to additional therapies outside the school setting. These therapies have shown amazing results, but like all other services, they cost money. And like any other parents, my husband and I have made the sacrifice to provide this for them, but it has significantly hurt our wallets and continues to do so. My boys go to therapy 3 to 4 times a week, which adds up to about $200 to $350 a week. Unfortunately, there have been times where we have experienced many difficulties to make ends meet. Today, I ask you as a parent who tremendously depends on health insurance for a brighter future and the well-being of my children, that you take into consideration these issues and increase the employer contribution for our health insurance. Every little bit helps. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. J.J. Torres?
Good evening. Mr. President, Dr. Moreno, gentlemen of the board, Dr. Nelson, Mr. Kazin, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. For the record, my name is Juan Jose Torres, and I am the Vice President of Professionals for the LISD side of the Laredo United TSTA NEA, and I'm here to speak on the matter at hand, the selection of the district's healthcare provider. I'd like to begin my comments by applauding your efforts in this endeavor. I'm quite certain that I speak for all the district's employees when I say, thank you. This auspicious body has seen fit to not only take into account the input of the rank and file, but has even dared to buck convention and set a place for us at the negotiation table. So thank you. I'd also like to commend Mr. McGraw for his tireless work, invaluable counsel, and superlative expertise. We could not have asked for a better guide to this potentially mind-wrecking exercise. Thank you for being our Rosetta Stone in this enterprise, sir.
Thank you.
Now for the matter at hand. We stand at a crossroads, a new frontier, if you will, with respect to the new reality with regard to healthcare. To say that it is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma would be an understatement. But based upon the meetings I've attended and the reports I've received, I can honestly say that you've done your homework. You are prepared to make the decision that will impact the lives of not only the employees of the district, but their families as well. And also the children whose education we have been entrusted with. To put it plainly, it's to everyone's benefit to see that the employees of the Laredo Independent School District receive the best possible health care, and that they do at the most affordable price possible. I know it is easier said than done, but I also know that this travail has honed your sense of what is just and fair and right. Not an easy task when one takes into account the needs of the district as a whole, and we understand this. But given the fact that it is upon the efforts of the employees that the future of our district is built upon, how can we not do what is in the best interest of our most valuable resource, the employees? Seneca once wrote, "The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity." These are adverse times. Thankfully, I see before me great people. Thank you, and may God bless you, the district, and the employees of the Laredo Independent School District. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Andrew? Andrew?
Good evening, members of the board. My name's Andrew Grove. I'm the Director of Sales for Humana South Texas. I attended Tuesday night's workshop and was pleased to see that Humana has the best price on once all taxes and fees are included for fully insured proposals. In addition to that, I firmly believe that our proposal brings many of the advantages that the employees spoke of this evening so eloquently. And once again, I know you have a tough decision, but I believe that we could provide a very solid alternative for you. In addition to having a very competitively priced, fully insured proposal, we've also stepped up to the plate to bring a second-year rate cap, so that way you know that we're coming in and want a long-term relationship with the district. Some of the other advantages, we also will work with your local servicing agent that you've worked with in the past. We'll also provide at our own cost an on-site service rep and provide a complete wellness program that even gives discounts to the employees to buy healthy foods at Walmart's. So some nice advantages. I know you're probably at insurance overload by this point, but I at least wanted to identify myself as a resource. Once the discussion does come up, I'm here to answer any questions, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to provide this service for the district and its employees.
Thank you. Sherry? Nadine?
Good afternoon. I come before you today with an issue that's been just a little bit frustrating over the last year. My son, towards the end of the last couple of months of school, was involved in a situation where he was pushed by another little boy, and this little girl's skirt was accidentally flipped up. However, the little girl's skirt was not of uniform code. And I feel strongly two things. If a mother can purchase a skirt, whether or not it's uniform, then they can send their child to school in uniform code. The second thing is, I do believe that if we send our older students home as a result of they have come incorrectly to school in the wrong uniform, the same needs to be said, even if the little girls are first graders, kindergartners. Ruffles look cute, but then mothers get upset when the little girl's skirt are being lifted up. In my son's incident, it was an accident. But there have been incidences that I've seen, that I've heard, where little boys are lifting up little girl skirts, no shorts underneath. They come without tights, what have you. And so I think in order to avoid any future situations with any family that it may be, that I would beg the board to make a change in that area so that my boy may not be involved in a misconception and an incident in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Anybody else? If not, Dr. Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. President. That brings us to the
Board communication real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, you have anything to say?
Well, this is my first time around, and I've seen pretty much 75%, I guess, of the school year. It comes to the end. My message today is to administration and board and teachers. In athletics, we call the rebuilding state of your progress. Every athlete is made during the summer. The words for that is that this is where you hone in on your skills and you bring up your level of play. And I am challenging everybody in this room today to do that this summer. I am asking everybody to hone in on your skills, whether you'd be an administrator, a teacher, or a board member, that we take this thing to the next level starting in August, once the new school year comes around. Let's be bold. Let's take our skill level to the next level so we can provide and try to accomplish within the next couple of years, as my goal is, to be the premier school district in the state of Texas. Unless we work together, we're not going to accomplish this. Unless we don't hone in on our skills, we're not going to accomplish this. I ask everybody individually to think outside the box this summer and figure out ways where you can improve. Because a lot of times we're not going to be there to visit with you or talk to you about some of the things, but a lot of it has to come from within each and every one of us. And I ask that this summer we do that. Thank you.
Mr. Amaya?
Just a couple of items, Mr. President. I do want to thank administration, teachers, all the personnel, LISD family for a great job this past year. Hopefully we'll continue. We are looking out for the welfare of all the employees, at least on my part and the rest of the board members sitting here. And last but not least, I want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day this coming Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Moreno?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate all the graduates, the students, their parents, the staff, and the school administration. I think that we thoroughly enjoyed all the graduations. It was, not only were they conducted orderly and it was just a good place to be at, but we could sense the pride that the students felt in being graduates and in being there for their graduation. We think that that sets the stage for their years to come, and we're proud to be a part of that. So congratulations to all those graduates, their parents, and everybody at the schools that had something to do with that.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez?
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. I'd like to go along with Ms. Moreno, Dr. Moreno's comments. I'm very proud of this past 2012-2013 school year, with the grades getting better, excellently getting better, and also with the graduation and the high quality of students that we're graduating, especially with our valedictorians and all the way down to all our kids. And we have a lot to plan for next year. We need a lot of teachers that we're still looking for, but most important, we need security of our kids and our staff in our schools. We have some students that are challenging the teachers, and we cannot have that kind of behavior. That kind of behavior cannot be tolerated in our district. And our kids need to be secured and safe. Our parents need to know that whenever they send the students to our schools, the students will be well taken care of. So those things I think we will work on in summer, the security and safety of our kids, and keep on increasing the grades in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to, again, also congratulate all our graduates. It's always very pleasing to see all these young people that are going to be moving on to the workplace or to higher education. This has also a very unique point to bring out, especially for Mexican Americans in this country. And our district is playing a very big role in that respect. Also, I'm very proud of all the activities that are taking place here at the Laredo Independent School District Board of Trustees, and especially in all the new projects that are coming up. Nixon High School, I believe, is going to be one of the most beautiful, most comfortable, and most proud schools that we have ever seen here in Laredo. And we're making sure that that will take place. Also, the Vidal M. Treviño School is going to be something unique in the whole state of Texas. And I've been talking to some of the people. Pretty soon we will also be getting Tejano music there with acordeones and conjunto and so on, not only mariachis, but again, all of these things are very exciting. It looks like it's going to be a very good year. We've had a good year. There are some new ventures that are going to be coming up. This board is always looking forward to those things, and we debate those issues backwards and forwards and sideways, but always the final result will be the betterment of our educational services that are provided, and of course our employees are a very big concern to all of us, because they are the ones that make the difference. They're the ones that are out there in the trenches, and I'm certainly very proud to be part of this organization. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to close off, as I've echoed with all my board members say, and our priority is our students and our teachers and everybody that worked for us. We've gone from looking at raising our minimum wage to look at what's best for our employees, but at the same time hiring qualified people to teach our kids how to read, write, and do arithmetic. And it's all about that. And we will fight for what's right, but at the same time, we're going to hold everybody responsible for what they're supposed to do in the classroom. These days of just going to class to pick up a check, and we don't have as many, but we do, and we need to be out there teaching our kids what's right and what's wrong, and getting our kids to the next level. A week ago, we stood on a stage and we let out, I think it was a little over 1,000 students into our community. They're going to come back, doctors and lawyers and politicians and superintendents and teachers, and we gave them one message, come back, do the best that you can at whatever you do. If you choose whatever profession you do, just be the best that you can be and make us proud. LISD is the place to be, and we're pushing that. And this board will work very good together. In the back, we talk and we discuss. At the end of the day, we're supporting each other to make sure that whatever we do is in the best interest of our students, our faculty, our staff, and our taxpayers. So thank you, Dr. Nelson, for your leadership. We've taken it to another level, and I know that this board wants to take this staff to another level. And that's our what we're shooting for, and have a safe summer. And we want to make sure that come August, that everybody comes back healthy and ready for another year. And we thank you. And I'll send it to you, Dr. Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. President. That brings us to our consent agenda. Items listed in this part of the LISD board meeting agenda have been presented and discussed at previous board meetings, board committee meetings, or considered to be routine items or matters. Item number 1 is approval and/or ratification of A, monthly disbursements, B, unaudited financial statements, C, donations reports, and D, tax collection report. Recommend approval.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting of May 16th.
So moved.
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
May we proceed, Mr. President?
Please.
Thank you. Item number 3 is discussion and possible action on the following budget amendment. Item 3A, BA 1213-24, recommend approval.
The motion?
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 4 is bids, proposals, quotations, and contracts. These bids, proposals, quotations, and contracts, items 4A through K, with the exception of 4G, as described in detail in the agenda, have been discussed and reviewed at the Business and Support Services meeting. Unless a board member would like to pull out an item for additional discussion, I respectfully ask that the board approve the recommendations of administration of each of these bids, proposals, quotations, and contracts as stated and described in the agenda, items 4A through K, with the exception of 4G. Recommend
To
approval.
approve everything except 4G.
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4G.
That brings us to 4G, Mr. President. Bear with me one second. Prior to our recommendation from staff, I did want to acknowledge the efforts of everyone who participated in the process, as you've heard from many of our public comments. Also, the outstanding work of our health insurance consultant, our chief financial officer, and the host of others that have participated in this process. I appreciate their time and attention to detail as we've tried to take this very seriously. The other minor comment that I would make is that hopefully with this recommendation, it sets us up for a separate conversation about what the board would like to contribute for each employee in their company. So we will not be making that decision tonight, but this is the first hurdle to get to that major decision that affects so many of our LISD families. Having said that, item number 4G for the record is request for proposal number 13-018, fully insured or self-funded medical and prescription drug benefits. Staff recommends awarding a contract to Blue Cross Blue Shield for a self-insured plan at an estimated amount of $18,144,605, which represents best value to the district.
There's a recommendation. Do I hear a motion? There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
That brings us to item number 5, which is tax refunds. These requests for tax refunds, item 6, excuse me, I apologize. That brings us to item number 5, which is change orders, allowance funds, and other. And we would like to recommend approval on 5A 12017 as presented in business support.
So moved. Second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tax refund, are we accepting all the tax refunds?
We recommend approval.
All right, there's a recommendation.
Second.
There's a second, Mr. Valdez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
We would like to, before we do our other consent agenda items, I believe we would like to pull item number 12.
Well,
And number 10.
Motion to pull 10 and 12?
Other than that, we ask this, okay, I apologize. This brings us to the consent agenda, items 7 through 13. Other than items 11 and 12, we would like to recommend approval.
Not 10,
Not 10.
11 and 12. There's a motion?
So moved.
There's a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? What would you do with 11 and 12?
They're being pulled so that we can continue our negotiations with the contractor that
So
we're
we
working
should
with.
motion to table 11 and 12?
Or no action.
Or no action.
No action's fine.
No action.
Thank you.
That brings us to the regular agenda, Mr. President. Item number 14 is discussion and possible action regarding policy GKA, local community relations, conduct on school premises, and related GKA regulation. Mr. Garza?
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. I brought this issue before the board because I know that we have a student code of conduct already in place, and I want to reiterate the fact that we need to also have a parent code of conduct. As it stands right now, I need staff to give me a little bit more detail as to what we need to do to enforce or to tighten up the language so that the parents are also representatives of this school district and they should be held accountable for any regular activity that might happen during school trips, campuses, off-campus trips that they are part of, and anything that we can do to tighten up the language to protect our teachers, our staff, and other parents from unruly parents. I'd like to see if we can put that language forth in this setting.
Certainly can
Okay,
follow
so
up.
Dr. Bolt, can you get some language together for that? I've heard that several schools, and you know what, our teachers and our administration there to teach our kids and not to take abuse from parents. And if we go through the proper process, I think, you know what, we need to have something in place to give the strength back to our schools, which we've been saying from the very beginning, that our teachers are in control of the schools and our principals are in control of our schools.
I received several examples of some of the wording, and I'd like to see if we can just sort of choose what we can choose from all of them and have either a combination of all of them or one specific strong one to it.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Garza. We just need to be careful not to shut our teachers off completely. They need to bring opinions, they need to bring, but in the proper manner, through proper channels. We want our parents to participate with good dialogues with our administration and teachers, so include that as part of the, you know, what we need to do.
Valdez?
I wholeheartedly agree with the proposal. I believe also we need to add some language on the implementation of this policy. To have it only in the books is not going to suffice. So whether it be by providing this information to all parents and having them sign the recognition, and also signs on the school board that are appropriate, I'm sorry, school property that are appropriate, in that, in more or less in that direction. Those are my comments.
Thank you very much.
Follow
Yeah,
up on all
because
this.
like Mr. Valdez said, it's very good to have, and we've worked very hard to put a lot of stuff into our books, but if we do not implement it and we do not follow
Enforce it.
through, yeah, it doesn't work. But thank you for those comments.
So,
Thank you. Next.
If I just want to add, Mr. President, real quickly, I think this is very important that Mr. Garza has brought this, because I know I speak for our staff. There's sometimes where we feel gun shy. and we feel like we're not going to get supported when people are belligerent or clearly out of line. We welcome feedback. We applaud parents who advocate for their children, but it has to be done, because we're a public school system, it has to be done in an orderly manner. So we fully support this. We look forward to bringing something that the board can act on, and as Mr. Valdez so eloquently said, really something that we plan on enforcing this year to the fullest extent that the policy will allow.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez?
Yes, I'm sorry. One more thought that comes to mind. There are some parents that go to the office and cannot get through with their points of view to the principal. And sometimes they're kind of shut out of the school happenings. We need to give them also a right and a process to bring concerns to the school itself or to the central office. We hear this all the time. Sometimes they might become belligerent. We don't want that. But we do want them to give us their opinion. We do want them to bring their concerns to the school.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let me proceed, Mr. President.
Please.
Item number 15 is discussion and possible action to add FTEs, extra duty days, stipends, and reclassifications of existing FTEs for the 2013-2014 school year in the estimated amount of $1,006,129. This item has been discussed for a couple of months. It is a very integral part of our budgeting process, and it really allows us to prepare for the beginning of school year in a way that our schools deserve. I know that there's a host of concerns about how we control our position management. Our finance department, our human resources department are committed to bringing whatever information we need to bring to the board in terms of how we fill these positions, how we use it to balance our budget, so that you have a good understanding of what we're asking for approval. We respectfully ask to approve it tonight.
Yes, and I would like to ask that I support this if it's going to be funded with the current year funds that we've had, not with the additional money that's coming from the state. We'd like to be able to identify exactly how that money is going to be used, and that would include our insurance and our stipends that we want to give, or our increases in salaries. So we'd like for this to be covered, I'd like for this to be covered with the regular funding that you have, and I think it can be.
I totally agree on that. I know that there was a exceed of money that about $2.5–3 million that we did not spend through human resource, and I'd like to allocate that money now from this year. That way, that $8 million that we have coming in, we use it wisely, because if we are considering going out for bond, we got to make sure that the money is used wisely when it comes in. So I totally support that.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Who are the individuals that will be getting this extra hours, Dr. Nelson?
Mr. Martinez, very respectfully, we've provided a comprehensive list that is total to the agenda item that you see, the $1.06 million. So you've received that comprehensive list. It is everything from an additional athletic trainer at each school to math coaches, to math teachers, fine arts teachers. It's really through what we call the master schedule process. We have developed needs for next year. The other thing I really need to say very respectfully to the comments that have been made, I believe we fully can honor the twist that has been offered tonight. But I just want to be very clear, we'll have to bring all that back to the board, because what you're saying is $2 to $3 million. As we went to do some calculations today, we don't see that much money. So that doesn't mean that maybe we're not looking right, but I can say, in the interest of transparency, we just made a $16 million budget amendment and a lot of those funds were intended to be what we call surplus funds from the school year. Maybe we're not talking about the same budget codes, but it's not that simple to just say, I believe we have it, and we have it. So we'll be glad to show you where we're getting our numbers from and bring it, but we just need the FTEs approved so that we can post some of those positions. We will not hire those people without bringing it to the board with the funding source and how we're going to use the funds that have been mentioned today.
Well, one thing, Dr. Nelson, I want to make sure that we don't slow down the process, because these people need to be in place already. The people need to be in place, so regardless Dr. Moreno has gone through her book. I've actually seen some. Whatever we can find, and if we don't find everything, that we push it to next year, but the position will be, the motion is going to be in the budget, one way or another, it will be in the budget, so we can proceed.
Right.
To give us the green light to proceed, and how we're going to fund it. I know we have money coming in, plus we have next year's budget, but the $8 million it's going to put in.
I wholeheartly agree. So for example, like the athletic trainers, we bring them to the board, we'll show you that we took it from this year's funds.
Right.
I'm just saying that as we go through the process, it may not be all of it, but we'll definitely we won't do anything without the board being aware and approving it.
I'll go ahead and make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
To make the amendment to look for it in this year's budget.
Absolutely.
Is that all right?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
With the amendment. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Opposed? Next.
Item number 16 is discussion and possible action to nominate a trustee for the position of TASB Board of Directors. This is something we received from TASB. They want a member of our trustees to represent Laredo ISD. So I believe either the
Mr. Martinez is being
president or the
nominated.
vice president.
I second the nomination.
So I think we need a vote on that.
Thank you.
If we get a vote.
Motion to put Mr. Martinez as our nominee.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Martinez,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yes, I'll do a good job.
Good job. 17?
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 17 is discussion and presentation to review the July 2013 formative evaluation process of the superintendent. As you know, we've discussed, we've come to the month in July where we do a formative evaluation. Next Thursday, 1 week from today, you will receive a packet of information that is intended to support the superintendent goals that we've identified for this school year. The other thing that will need to happen is the last week of June, and not the week of the 4th of July, but the week after that, the week of July 8th. That would be the 10-day window that we would complete our one-on-one evaluation conferences to prepare for a formative evaluation meeting that I am proposing. I visited with the board president about this earlier today. We're proposing to have that meeting on July 22nd, 2013, which is a Monday evening. So we'll be giving you all this in the background, but I just wanted to go over it in the month of June because technically the window opens the last week of June. May we proceed, Mr. President, if there's no comments or questions? Item number 18 is discussion, that's for closed session.
We're going to go to closed session for that.
So before we do 18, I was going to go ahead and ask, I believe Mr. Valdez has an agenda item. I'll read it for the record and allow him to speak to it. Item number 19 is discussion and possible action to purchase the property at 1500 Logan, formerly known as Mercy Hospital, including improvements and all land property identified with it.
I want to pull the item, table item.
Motion to pull. The second?
No.
Second.
You don't have to vote?
No, you don't.
Just pull.
Okay. The rest of the items, before we go into closed session, we'll do our internal audit items. Item number 20 is discussion and update on the duties of the internal auditor, including ongoing audits. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, subsection A, subsection 1. Ms. Henry?
Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Nelson, the following is my report for the month. Audits completed. We have the assessment, testing procedures. We're pending a response. Unannounced cash audits, CMP at Zachary Elementary, Gallego Elementary, DDHR, Gawas, Ligarde, Zachary, and Memorial Middle. We're pending a response. Audits currently in progress. The athletics, Martin boys basketball, as a special request from the superintendent, ISS, OSS program follow-up, and ongoing unannounced cash audits.
Any comments, questions, concerns? Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you very much for the hard work and dedication.
Thank you. Thank
Do
you.
you have another section on
Martinez,
concerns that we have that we'd like to bring in?
can we do it? We can do it live. How do you want it done?
I just think we need to read the agenda item first.
Go ahead.
Item number 21 is discussion and possible action on the duties and responsibilities of the internal auditor as assigned by the Board of Trustees, including the potential assignment of auditing duties. Mr. President?
Ms. Martinez?
Yes, I had a concern brought to me by a family in regards to one of their sons. The son is was a teacher, an English teacher in one of the high schools, and he was given an option to either resign or be fired. And I would like to see if that is something that is going on besides this one teacher that resigned. He was so ashamed that he decided to leave to San Antonio. He didn't want to come back, he didn't want to push it, but he was, taken to the office and given that action for him to make a decision right away.
I think it was something that we need legal to look into, or Dr. Nelson?
Well, I just want to say, I did have an opportunity to visit with Mr. Martinez about this. Very respectfully, Mr. Martinez, I thought we ended it with, I had asked for the opportunity to visit with that young man. I thought you were going to send him to me. Yes. Which I have not.
Yeah, he decided not to push it anymore. He did not want to be in this district anymore. So he did not want to
I
come
totally
back.
respect that.
Can we look at the possibilities in, I don't know if it falls under you, but if not, that we investigate this and get an answer back to us?
We will definitely investigate it very respectfully. I think I'd rather work with Mr. Kazin and Human Resources because this is a principal issue.
Yeah, that's what I would say, would fall in a bit more, Mr. Garza.
But we can follow up with the board formally.
In the back or right now?
Yes, sir. We'll do a detailed investigation with Mr.
Right,
Kazin.
okay, because I have a couple of more details on it.
Yes, sir. And part of the investigation will include Mr. Kazin getting that information from you.
Mr. Garza?
Just a point of reference from me personally, does the internal audit office include this kind of situation where we have to, she audits whether protocol or policy was followed? Is this what we're looking at?
When they do it, yeah. And whenever you have any concerns at an audit that you'd like to see, you can bring the auditor, not Ms. Ayala, but this auditor, she works for the board. Ms. Ayala works for the board, but in another capacity, but she takes care of any concerns that we have. She will look into them and get them to us.
Okay.
As an investigation.
But I just want to add very respectfully for both of our learning that I agree what you said is that the internal auditor, the way I understand it, can clearly check for policy compliance. Definitely. But one of the things we have worked hard in the last 4 years to address is having the internal auditor doing things that are clearly outside the scope. I mean, I remember terms she was just going because somebody wanted somebody investigated. And so I just want to make sure that we don't go backwards in that because we've worked very hard to keep her doing things that are clearly internal audit according to industry standards for internal audit procedures. And it does have a wide umbrella. It includes everything from ISS to athletics to finances, but she does have a full-time responsibility of just monitoring potential fraudulent activity financially. But it does reach into HR. She works closely with our Human Resources, and we're willing to be transparent on anything the Board of Trustees vote to have her investigate.
You do have a system, a protocol system where somebody has to give you a written either complaint or a written notice that they want somebody or something audited.
Request for audit, yes, sir.
Okay, and then after that, the process goes to HR and somebody else makes the decision whether you follow through with it or do you do it?
The superintendent.
Superintendent does
Yes.
that? Okay, very good.
Any other comment, question? Okay, motion to go, is that it? Motion to go into,
Let me read the agenda items, please, Mr. President. So the agenda items for closed session include item number 18, discussion and consultation with legal counsel regarding legal issues pertaining to a possible bond election, possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071. And then also it would be agenda item number 22, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions: Chief of Police, Director of Transportation, and PEMS Coordinator. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074. Mr. President?
Motion to go into
So moved.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's 7:01.
Can you call it again? Yes. Can you call it like that? We'll be back at 7:30.
We'll be at 7:36.
Item number 22, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions. For Chief of Police, I would like to recommend Richard B. Palomo for the position.
The motion?
So I so move.
The second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
For the position of Director of Transportation, I'd like to recommend Mr. Esteban Rangel.
Do I hear a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Comments, concerns?
Mr. President, I would like to move that the salary for the Transportation Director be set at the midpoint.
Second.
Second for the adjustment?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
For the position of PEMS Coordinator, I would like to recommend Ms. Amanda L. Garcia for the position.
So moved.
There's a motion, there's a
Second.
second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next. The
I
motion?
believe that brings us to the PFC.
Mr. Valdez?
No.
So the next.
Recess.
Recess.
Mr. President, I move the recess of the Laredo ISD Board of Trustees and convene as the Laredo ISD Public Facility Corporation Board of Directors.
Second.
The second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next. Can't find that one, that's why.
Item number 25 is discussion and possible action to approve monthly reports for the Laredo ISD.
There's a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve the minutes on board meeting May 16, 2013. There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn as the Laredo ISD Public Facility Corporation Board of Directors and reconvene as the Laredo ISD Board of Trustees.
There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Communications?
Yes, sir. Good evening once again, board members and Dr. Nelson. The LISD Board of Trustees will have its Student Services Facilities Nominating Committee meeting on Tuesday, June the 25th at 11:30 a.m. here in the Erie Boardroom. A budget workshop is scheduled for Wednesday, June 26th at 6 p.m. here in the Erie Boardroom. Just a reminder that LISD administrative offices will be closed the week of July the 1st through the 4th. The tax office will be open on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and will be closed on July the 4th and July 5th. Offices will reopen on Monday, July the 8th. A C&I meeting is planned for Tuesday, July 9th at 11:30 a.m. in the boardroom, followed that evening by an Operations Committee meeting at 6 p.m. And finally, the Business and Support Services Committee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 13th at 6 p.m. here in the Erie boardroom. Dr. Nelson, those are all the communications for this evening.
Thank you very much. I also would like to recognize Ray Villarreal, who has a birthday coming up. Is that right? Yeah, so happy birthday to
21.
Is there any other comments, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, I was talking to Mr. Garza a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us that we're still short in some elementary school teachers and some science teachers, maybe even some math teachers, and of course also in the police department. And I'd like to recommend, or I'd like to just remember that we might enrich our district by bringing members of other communities here. A lot of the big universities do the same thing. like the law school in the University of Texas, they bring a lot of people from out of the state to enrich the thinking and the communications between them. I like to think of bringing out of the state from different parts of the country to bring elementary school teachers and science school teachers. We did this some years ago. I'm talking like about 20 years ago. And it was very good, and those teachers became part of our community, and they're still here. So I like for us to consider that, and even police officers, we don't have enough police officers here that are willing to make a commitment to us and stay with us and enrich our schools. Thank you.
Any other comments? And one more before, in the same lines. The superintendent, just to make sure that, and I know you're working on it, that we take a serious look at our police officers to make sure that we stop losing them and look at their salary adjustment to them, and not only by police officers, but also the people that run that office that's been there forever, secretaries and all that, have been doing an excellent job, and we haven't recognized that. So I want to make sure that that's looked at, that's brought back to us with an increase for the work that they're actually doing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go Spurs!
Let's get into the hat.
There was a priest.
Whatever you
And he came in there. Yes, congratulations. Expect a lot, okay? And gave us a lecture, and we marched into the chapel.
What's he having?